Hey, all you beautiful people. Welcome to Utah. Holy smokes. It is snowy. It is windy. We are at an overlook that overlooks Grand Staircase-Escalante National Monument. And I was going to stop here and show you guys what the monument looks like, why it's called Grand Staircase, but that's the overlook. It's a little snowy up here. I'm hoping that it's a little less snowy once we get off this mountain. We made it off the very snowy mountain and down through Escalante. Glad to see there's a lot less snow here. Fueled up in Escalante, the city, and headed down Hole in the Rock Road. And we are now actually on the road to the Egypt Trailhead, which is off of Hole in the Rock Road. If it all works out, tomorrow we're gonna hike down from the Egypt Trailhead to the Escalante River Canyon and Golden Cathedral. A lot depends on what the weather's doing. It's cold, it's windy, the water's gonna be freezing, and I will have to cross water, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, what happens. Our plan is very weather dependent. And right now, there's some weather. You can see all those clouds that are heading this way, but they should pass over. The storm is supposed to pass over us. As soon as I got the bed set up in the Jeep, Fluffy jumped in it. He's a tired boy already, and we really haven't done anything. Are you all tucked in for bed? Yeah. Good morning. It is a beautiful but very chilly morning this morning in Grand Staircase-Escalante. It is about 10 degrees outside. It's cold in the desert. It's supposed to warm up to about 39-ish today. We'll see. But right now, we're working on staying warm and making plans for the day. Hi, buddy. My original plan was to hike down the Escalante River Canyon from the Egypt Trailhead, see Golden Cathedral, hike up canyon a little bit, hike down canyon a little bit, and then out what's called 25-mile wash, and take like 5 or 6 days to do it, but it's pretty chilly. And I'm not 100% sure that I am committed to tent camping when I have my warm car. So it's gonna be a little free form. We're gonna see. I'm gonna hike down to Golden Cathedral today once I get all my stuff together, but whether I'm gonna stay the night or more than one night, we'll kind of see what comes. See how cold it is. I finally got everything packed up and we are headed to the Egypt Trailhead. I definitely had to do a lot of reconfiguring because it's a lot colder than I was originally planning it to be. It's going to be in the low teens to potentially single digits at night, and it's only going to get up to the low 30s during the day. So I was planning for about 10 degrees warmer than that at day and at night. So we'll see how it goes. If I'm too cold, I will totally wimp out. And that's okay. There's plenty to do here besides going backpacking in winter. We have made it to the Egypt Trailhead. We've got to walk over there to the kiosk and do a permit, and then we're ready to hit the trail. You ready to go? Is that what that means? You ready to go? A little nervous, a little excited? Yeah. You can get an amazing view up here. We're descending pretty quick down a kind of rocky, sandy area. Hard to describe. It's rocky and it's sandy. And it's going down pretty fast. Our goal today is just 3.5 miles down to the bottom of the Escalante River Canyon. And then we're going to set up camp. What do you think of hiking into sandy, rocky stuff? I think hiking back up this is not going to be as fun. There is definitely some route finding that has to happen here. There's a cairn right there. Okay. Have to kind of look to see where the path goes. It's not super clear, but we go that way. There are sort of cairns there. Oh, I see the next one. There's a cairn. What you can't tell is that this is actually pretty steep little slick rock. It's fine, but it is a little steep. But we made it down the slick rock, and Fluffy kind of chose his own path towards the end, which was surprising because it was definitely a little bit steeper than the actual path. And he doesn't like heights, so I'm surprised he did it that way. But he was a good boy. He figured it out, didn't ya? That's my good boy. This is definitely a choose your own adventure sort of scenario. We just came down off of this little ridge behind me, and if I didn't have Fluffy Dog, I probably actually could have just climbed down it, but had to find the trail, which was not marked up there. But I was able to find it and find a safe place for Fluffy Dog to come down. Looks like we've got more cairns down in this area than we had up top. A little bit ago, we started way up there and kind of made our way down where you can't see behind this rock, and then down here. Adventure awaits ahead. Woo. Hey, buddy. I've got to shed some of my layers. It is actually getting a little warm. It's not warm. It's 32 degrees outside. But I'm starting to sweat, and I don't want to sweat with all my layers on and ruin my layers. The bummer about shedding layers is that my pack's gonna weigh more, but must be done. Down in this lower slab, the cairns are more obvious, which is nice. I can find the trail. It's really cool seeing Fluffy, the dog who was afraid of everything when I first got him, picking the routes, choosing the best way down. He's doing such a good job. Amazing little boy. We made it down the ridge, and now we're entering Glen Canyon Recreation Area. That's a bummer for Fluffy, because that means he has to be on a leash now. Dogs have to be leashed in the Glen Canyon Recreation Area, so hopefully he doesn't pull me down the next canyon. So we climbed down this drainage onto this bench where we are right now, and are going to be walking down this drainage, kind of pointing towards this thing right here. And we should drop down into another canyon. We're going to follow those cairns up this little ridge. One cairn. Two Karens. Whew. We've been steadily climbing up to get to this point. Beautiful. Well, that's an interesting Karen. Probably shouldn't pick up those rocks. The reason you shouldn't pick up yellow rocks in the desert is because of uranium. And yellow rocks often signify that there is a high uranium content. They tend to be lighter than you would think they are for their size. And I did pick those up and they're not lighter than you would think they are for their size. So probably not uranium containing, but you do want to not carry around a yellow rock in your pocket. We are going to be dropping down into this canyon. Look at that giant alcove. That's really cool. It's right there. Ish. Hard to see in my camera. But so pretty. We've dropped down from that canyon wall behind us, and we're about to drop down to another bench and then down to the canyon floor. We are zigzagging our way down, and oh my, it is lovely. You could see from up top that the stream down here was frozen, so I was a little bit worried that I was going to have to be chopping ice, but I hear running water, so yay. We are almost down. Oh, Fluffy, your pack's all discombobulated. And now a little tromping through the reeds to get to the mouth of the canyon. We have made it to the bottom of the canyon. That is the Escalante River with ice. We are not crossing the Escalante tonight. And I'll make that call tomorrow depending on how cold it is and how deep it is. Couldn't get a good idea from the shore just how deep it is. It looks like there's maybe downstream a little wider spot that would be shallower. So I'll have to keep that in mind. I'm sure there's some upstream. This little crossing area right here doesn't look prime. So we'll go search for that tomorrow. But tonight, we're going to get camp set up, get dinner, go to bed, and try to stay warm overnight. This is the little campsite we've chosen. Not too far from both the Escalante and the little stream in Fence Canyon. We don't have any sun anymore, but it's not too cold yet. Feeling a little bit chillier than it was. Winter in the desert. Ooh, I'm going to start layering up though. Oh, I don't want to get chilled, so layer management is important. This way. Good morning. How you doing? Are you my good boy? Good boy. Good morning. It's still pretty dark out. It's kind of cold. I am very slowly getting ready this morning. Having my breakfast, having a little coffee. A fresh made coffee. And I'm not very happy to see that I didn't get to see the sunrise this morning because it's very overcast. Just a minute ago, it was actually snowing a teeny tiny little bit. Just like hardly any snowflakes, but it was snowing. It's actually not bad temperature-wise. I mean, it's not warm, but it's fine. Not so fine that I want to cross the river just yet. Just taking a look at the map to Neon Canyon and the Golden Cathedral, and we're going to have to cross the river 3 times. We'll see. We'll make that judgment call at each crossing and decide if we want to continue and if that's an okay thing to do. So that means I have to cross it 3 times to get there and 3 times back. Yeah. Unless I take the beeline route out of here, which I may do. I wasn't going to pack up all my crap and take it with me, but after looking at the map, I'm thinking maybe we'll take a different route out so we don't have to cross the river so many times, just in case crossing the river is awful. Well, we'll see how it goes. So I've been scouting around a little bit this morning trying to find the best place to cross the river, and the best place to cross the river is right behind me, and it gets to about thigh deep. Which is fine, except for that I've got to get my pack across and I got to get Fluffy across. I don't want him to get terribly wet, so I don't want him to swim it. So we're going to do plan B, which is we're going to hike out of here to almost where we entered the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area, and we're going to take a different route, which is called the Beeline route, down towards the Golden Cathedral. It's going to take us about 5 miles out of the way, so we'll be doing a lot of hiking today. That's the plan. This is just it's not. I mean, yeah, it's cold, but it's not that cold, and I have on waterproof socks, but I don't have waders down here, and my socks are only just below the knee, so I don't want to go thigh deep. At least not making 2 trips, me, Fluffy, and the pack. And it makes me think if this is thigh deep, a little down the canyon, it's probably going to be deeper. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go up and cross at Golden Cathedral, where we only have to cross the river 1 time. Well, twice. Once going and once coming back. So this was a lovely little canyon, and in the summertime I would love to just hike down this river canyon because it's beautiful. Maybe pack raft it a little bit. You could totally pack raft right now. You can see the water levels are pretty good. But, well, here we go, up canyon. All right, we're going to say goodbye to my little fence canyon here and start heading back up. Not super looking forward to the slog up because I've got to go almost all the way back up to get the other route, but it is what it is. I couldn't tell from the water reports just how deep the Escalante was going to be. Sometimes it's very shallow, sometimes it's deep, and right now it's deep. I suspect because none of it's being siphoned off for irrigation right now, and I didn't think to take that into account. But once we get back up the hill and get to our fork in the trail and then go back down a different fork to the Golden Cathedral area, we should only have to cross the river once. And if I got to strip down to my underwear and do it, that's what we're going to do. It is still very overcast, but this really is a pretty little canyon. There's a cool cave in the wall over there. Neat. We're getting closer to the top of the platform that we need to be on, and those 3 little alcoves over there are pretty cool. They may even be arches. This is the canyon we just climbed out of, and we've got to hike all the way up, 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 You can't see it, but up there. And then down on the other side of this thing. And then we'll only have one water crossing. There is some precipitation happening out in the distance. I don't know if that's rain or snow. That's pretty far away. One cool thing about deep sand is you can see all the little footprints from the critters. There's been a lot of activity around here from the little critters, even in winter. Bunny rabbit prints right there. Oh, a lot of climbing, and we have made it kind of to the base of the big bluff where our car is parked. Car is parked right up there. About a quarter of a mile from here, and we will hit the trail junction where we need to take the fork to the right instead of the left. We have reached the junction and are now going to take the beeline trail down to the river again. We are taking a little snack and water break. Fluffy does not want to demonstrate his water break. Are you done drinking? Do you need more? Is that all you needed? Did you already have all the water you wanted? We have come to a decision-making point in that sitting there having my little snack, I got really chilled and it is cold. And so I jogged around a little bit, thinking that may help. And it helped a little bit, but the thought of getting in the cold tent tonight is not something I want to do. So we are going to climb back up to the car, back up there. It's about, I don't know, that's like 500 feet, maybe more than that, but it looks like 500 feet-ish. And about 3/4, half a mile, something like that, back to the car. Spend the night in my warm car tonight, and then tomorrow hike back down here. I don't really want to hike up and down that thing behind me twice, but I think it's the wise thing to do. I'm quite chilled, and I don't want to risk hypothermia. That would be bad. So we're gonna hike back up there, and we're gonna turn on the heater in the car. Happy Fluffy, he can be off his leash now. We're back in the monument and out of the recreation area. It is really significantly colder right now today at this time than it was yesterday at this time. And I think it's because the sun has not made an appearance all day today. It has been behind clouds all day. It is colder now than it was this morning when it was snowing. So we're gonna continue our plan. I don't want to climb that up that, but I also don't want to get colder than I am right now. I'm about halfway up. I think this is the right decision. I'm still cold. So yeah, we're almost to the car. As the sun is starting to hit our horizon, it's finally come out behind the clouds. And now that the sun is back out, I've actually warmed up again and feel pretty good, but I'm most of the way to the top already. So we're gonna carry on and sleep in the warm car tonight, and then tomorrow climb back down this and then down the beeline route to Golden Cathedral. That's the plan. Oh yeah, look at the sun lighting up the canyon now. It's lovely and probably a lot warmer now. That's okay. It is now warm down there, and if I'd waited, 20 minutes, I would be in that warm stuff too. But you make decisions with the information you have at the time, and that's what we got. So I'm still going to enjoy a nice warm night in the car. You could be super brave and get up there all by yourself. I know you can do it. I know you can. You want me to help you? Oh, good boy. Good boy. Yay, we made it back to the car. All right, got the crap in the truck. Got to put the dog in the truck. You ready to hop in? Are you ready to go in the car? You hop in. Are you gonna hop in? Do you want some help? Do you want some help? Good boy. Here, I'll help you up the rest of the way. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Good boy. Fluffy is 100% able to jump into the car by himself. But he learned how to jump into the car from my old dog, who was a really big old dog and who could not jump in the car by himself. And that's how Fluffy learned how to get in the car. So if properly motivated, like if I throw some treats on the seat, he will jump in. Otherwise, he likes to have a hand up. Now, we've got the crap loaded. We've got the Fluffy loaded. I'm going to get loaded. I'm not going to go get loaded. I don't even have any alcohol with me at all. We're going to go find a campsite. Actually, a little change of plans. We're not going to go get a campsite just yet. We're going to run to town and get some more water because I realized I don't really have enough water for the next, what is today? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 4 days. I don't have 4 days worth of water. I probably have 2 days worth of water because I was planning to spend more days down in the canyon where I could get water as needed. So I'm gonna go to town and grab some more water. Then we're gonna drive back out here and get a camp spot and hit the hay. And if I don't break the camera back out tonight, see you guys in the morning. Good morning. What do you hear? Do you hear a bird? Fluffy has not decided that it's time to get out of bed yet. Here's a good boy. He's pretty content hanging out in the Jeep for a little bit. But I am up and about. The sun is gonna be coming up soon. And kind of see glimmers of it back there. And it's chilly. It's probably about 15 degrees out right now. It was warmer actually yesterday morning in the canyon, probably by about 5 degrees. So I am glad that I came back and slept in the Jeep overnight because it's chilly this morning, and I'm glad to have been warm overnight. Although I did get a little chilled in the wee hours of the morning. Had to turn on the car heater, but overall it was pretty good. In the Jeep, I sleep with a wool blanket, part of Fluffy's down blanket, and hot water bottles and a 0-degree sleeping bag, and still got a little bit chilly at about 4 a.m. and turned on the car heat to warm it up a little bit. But I'm a cold sleeper, so that's just how it goes. There's the sunrise. Hopefully it'll start to warm up now. You finally decided to get out of bed. Good boy. So I'm going to be doing a lot of editing of what went into my backpack because I was still a little bit cold and woke up, even though I slept reasonably well, woke up a few times kind of shivering. So when I backpacked night before last. So I'm doing a little bit of editing, but I thought you guys would probably like to see what I'm wearing this morning. This will tell you how cold I get. So this is probably one of the warmest hats I own. I have a wool hat that's maybe a little bit warmer, but I forgot to bring it. So this is a faux fur, I don't know, whatever kind of hat this is. It's really warm. I am wearing my down puffy coat. I have on 2 wool shirts and a wool or a polar fleece vest, wool gloves that have little mitten. They have little mitten cover thingies, which are wonderful. I have on wool socks. I have on my polar fleece lined pants, and I've got this old army sleeping pad or sleeping bag liner that I've wrapped around me like a skirt to keep myself a little bit warmer. I get cold, so this is keeping me comfortable. Plus moving around is helping. And I'm going to edit my pack. I'm going to make some breakfast, and eventually we'll be ready to hit the trail. I'm taking my time though. Let the sun come up a little higher in the sky before we take off. We're heating up some water so I can have some oatmeal and coffee and use some of that warm water for a little bit of bathing because it's chilly, but you know, camping hygiene is important. The sun, wait for the water to boil and watch the sun come up. It's so pretty. We are going the lazy way with coffee this time. Little coffee packets because I did not feel like roasting up some coffee this trip. Ooh. Little mittens also make pretty good pot holders. Don't want to forget my creamers. These little mini moos are great for camping. I mean, they're kind of wasteful with all the packaging, but it keeps your cream good for a very long time. We're going to have to let that sit a little bit. It's hot. There's my spoon. We'll make our oatmeal while I'm waiting for my coffee to cool down a little bit. Oh, it gets hot. Oatmeal, the perfect camp breakfast. Super easy to make. It's nice and warm on a cold morning. And it tastes good. And I would be sitting in my nice comfy little camp chair right now, but I left it out overnight and it's covered in frost, so I'm not sitting in it. It would be not so comfortable. Such a beautiful place. Fluffy is very content just to hang out. Check out any critters that might be wandering by. Took a little time, but we are all packed up and ready to go to head down to Golden Cathedral. We are back at the trailhead and are ready to head down canyon again. According to people who have already signed the trail register, there's been a few people here in the last few days. There's probably calf deep water in this portion of the Escalante where we're going to cross, so that'll be a lot better. It's still going to be icy and cold, but it's better than 3 feet deep of water. So here we go. We are starting out once again with this amazing view, and our goal is actually to head towards that guy right there, that big butte. And that is right about the head of Neon Canyon, which contains the Golden Cathedral. Once again, we head downhill pretty quickly down this kind of steep, rocky portion, which you probably can't actually tell how steep that is, but it's kind of steep. Good boy! It is a little bit warmer today. It's about 37 degrees out right now, and sunny, which is fantastic. And we've got about 4 miles to go to get to the bottom of the canyon. Oh, that just does look, it's so beautiful. This is a little bit of a tricky spot because cairns don't actually stand out very well here. And where you've got to go is down there. But it is a little bit of navigation challenge. Fluffy knows where he's going. This is pretty slanty stuff we're walking on, but Fluffy's got it. He's come to a little spot that's concerning, but he made it. When you get to the base of this big old slab we're on right now, you come to a pour-off where you cannot get down there unless you're very, very skilled. So let's see if I can sorry, it's all shadowy, but if you had some skills, you could climb down that. The alternate, or the better route, is down canyon to your right, and it's a pretty easy down climb. Fluffy is demonstrating the little down climb, the safer way. In this slabby section, there are a few cairns here and there, but really you just walk down the slab and you will get there. At the bottom of this fin, we will be entering Glen Canyon National Recreation Area, and we will be needing to leash Fluffy up again. At this sign where it says entering Glen Canyon National Recreation Area, we went this way for Fence Canyon, and we are going this way for the beeline route. I wasn't sure if we'd see much in the way of cairns on this route, but there do seem to be plenty of cairns, at least at the beginning. Look at my little desert dog taking it all in stride. I should clarify, He's only a winter desert dog. I would not take him out here in the summertime. That would be pretty awful for him. I haven't seen a Karen for a while, but it's pretty easy to follow the sandy path with footprints. You always want to remember to turn around and look where you came from. It is very easy to get lost out here. I mean, if wind blows, it's going to take away the footprints. And so you really need to have a good eye on your environment to know stuff before you and behind you, to know where you're going. I mean, certainly maps, certainly GPS, certainly compass, but just looking at things and knowing where you came from can help you get back there. This is cool. Just puddles and puddles of Moki marbles. Moki marbles are iron concretions that are in the sandstone, and when the sandstone gets washed away, it creates these little iron marbles. They're actually hollow inside. It's bad luck to take them home. Kind of like Montezuma's revenge. Don't take them home. But look at that. There's just like a lake of them up there. My little Moki marble stop got us a little bit off trail, but we're back on trail now. Climbing up sand. The beeline route involves quite a lot of trudging through sand. I think when we get to the top of this little ridge here, we're going to stop and have some lunch. I think we've picked a nice little lunch spot. Do you want some prosciutto? Yeah, have some prosciutto. We're having my usual brie and prosciutto sandwiches. He's sitting right in front of the camera. Brie and prosciutto sandwiches with a little bit of dehydrated mango fluffy dog. And a beautiful view and a wonderful fluffy dog. You want some of that? You want some prosciutto? There you go. He couldn't resist. I mean, I basically put it in front of his face. Good boy. That was a wonderful lunch with a beautiful view of the Egypt bench behind us, which is where we came from. But it is time to make some tracks down to that river. Come up to the top of a rise and I can see our objective again, which is that guy right there. So we are heading the right direction. What do you think, buddy? Let's see how we get down this. Oh yeah. That's not going to be super fun climbing back up that, but well, here we go. There are no cairns to show us the way down this little bench, but I can actually see footprints out there, so I know basically where we want to go. We are getting closer and closer to our objective. Check it out. Those are lizard tracks. That's cool. There's quite a distance where you've got to make sure you're on the right track. There are no cairns over this very large sandstone slabby area. So you've got to keep your destination in mind, which I can't see right now. So that big old slabby rock right there, I've just got to remember to keep pointed to it. Now we did reach some sand again, and I am able to follow the path again, but that was probably about a quarter of a mile where there were no cairns and no obvious path. So you want to be kind of okay at navigation to do this trail. Good boy. Good boy. Lots of sand. Lots and lots of sand in this final area before we drop down the canyon rim. It's been a little challenge to navigate, but I finally see a cairn. There's the river. There's Neon Canyon. Now we just have to find our way down to it. This is where we go down. That would have been very hard to find without my Gaia GPS because it's not obvious. All right, Fluffy is going to be off leash for this little bit because I do not want him pulling me down this hill. That's probably the wrong way. This is like climbing the pyramids in Mexico. Very uneven footing. There you go, good boy. You did it. Fluffy is navigating this off leash too because this is steep and potentially dangerous to get pulled down. Not that he would pull me down on purpose, but he kind of gets the momentum going when he goes downhill, and that would be it. Again, Fluffy off leash for this portion because it is very steep downhill. Not as dangerous as the other stuff, but you can kind of see each step I'm sinking a lot and going down. So my shoes are going to be filled with sand when we get down off of this. Going back up, that's not going to be fun. That is greater than a 40-degree slope, which you cannot tell whatsoever on camera, but it is. And that's that big butte that we've been following all the way here. Just walked down to the river to get some water and investigate a potential campsite near there, but I didn't find anything good. This looks like it's a pretty good campsite. It's going to get good morning sun. It's nice and flat. It's getting good evening sun, actually. But you can see that sun is right at our horizon, and it's going to get cold fast. So I'm going to get camp set up. This is a nice flat sandy area, so I just have to pick where I want to put my tent because it's all nice and flat. As it turns out, this is really sandy soil, and my tent pegs are not holding, so my tent is being held down with a bunch of rocks right now. The sun is definitely leaving us, and it's starting to get cold. I'm going to get my warmer gear on, and I'm going to fix dinner real quick, which is going to be Mountain House. So it's not very exciting, and I am going to snuggle up in my warm bed because even though it's really early still, it's cold. Whew. I look forward to sunrise tomorrow. Are you snuggled up in your down blankie? Yeah. Oh, if I can reach you to pet you. It's a good boy. It's a good boy. Good morning. Oh my goodness. You're such a good boy. Good morning. Let's get out of this tent. The sun is finally rising above the canyon rim. I may even get out of the tent. Oh, it's cold. I've got ice condensation all in the tent. It's not just condensation, it is ice. It's a little frosty this morning. Look at all the ice crystals on that branch. I've been cruising around my little sandbar and exploring around this morning to see if I could get anywhere else without having to cross the river. And no, you're locked into a little tiny area, and I am only crossing that river once. Well, twice, because I got to cross it to get to the canyon and then get back. But that's it, because it's cold. It's cold here this morning. Guessing that it probably got to 18, 20 degrees last night. It was a little chilly, but I slept well, which was good. Woke up once at about 3 in the morning and had to reheat my water bottles, but other than that, pretty good. All right, let's do this. Let's go see this canyon. We have come to our river crossing, and the good news is it is pretty shallow, but the water's definitely moving, and there's ice on either side of the banks, which complicate things a little bit. First things first, I gotta take off my tennis shoes and put on some waterproof socks, because we're gonna cross in Crocs and my sealskin waterproof socks, and that should be fine. Pretty sure I'm gonna be ending up carrying Fluffy across this, because he is not gonna like it. So I might as well, and I don't really want him to get soaking wet, so I'm probably gonna carry Fluffy across, but waterproof socks first. All right, I'm ready to go. I've set my GoPro up to record the action, but I'm putting my phone away into my dry bag while I cross this. So we'll see you guys on the other side. Very thick ice. Yeah, about shin deep. That is definitely deeper than I think Fluffy's gonna want to do. Come here, buddy. He's running away because he doesn't want to do this. Here, I carry you. I carry you. I help you. It's okay. It's a good learning experience. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. That was awkward. But have the dog. Good boy. Well, that worked out a little better than I thought it was going to be. The water's cold, but it wasn't that bad, and Fluffy was reasonably cooperative for being picked up. Oh my goodness, you were such a good boy. You are such a good boy. Was that very exciting? Was that like the craziest thing you've ever done? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna walk down this canyon. Wow, it's a very pretty canyon. It's about 3/4 of a mile up this canyon to the Golden Cathedral. We've gotten the hard parts over with. We crossed that river. We have done the tough part. Now we get to enjoy the prettiness. All right, let's go back here. Little ferns growing out of the walls, or what I'm calling a fern. I don't know what these are actually. Plants growing out of the walls like that tell you that there's water, usually a spring or a seep. And actually, I think I see some water up here. So just up the canyon, this is a seep, a little bit of water. And the good thing is that's nice, fresh, clean water. But just, I mean, look around. It's just another beautiful morning in a gorgeous canyon in Utah. I think we're getting close, and it's getting really pretty back here. So we're having to climb up this little rock pile. And I still have my Crocs on. I was too lazy to take them off. And I'm too lazy to take them off now. So we're being very careful climbing over this little rock pile. Good boy. Hop up. You can do it. Hop up. No. Ooh, that's kind of a loose chokestone. I know you can do it. Good boy. This place is really beautiful. It's also really neat that you enter into the Golden Cathedral through this little passageway with a boulder on one side and the canyon wall on the other. It's gorgeous. That is just tremendously cool. So if you get here at the right time of day and right time of year, when the sun is overhead and light streams through these potholes into this big alcove, it's supposed to look really cool. That's not going to happen this time of day in winter because the sun is just too low in the sky. You're not going to, no sunbeams are going to hit those potholes this time of year. But it's still very pretty. I definitely want to come back someday and do this canyon and rappel through these potholes. Literally, they rappel through this pothole into that pool of water. And yeah, I want to do that. That looks awesome. This is the classic position to watch people rappel down through the pothole. And it's pretty cool. They will have been coming through this one, I believe, and will have been coming down that canyon. Pretty wicked cool. It is time to get out of here. I'm gonna hike back down, just cross the icy river, pack up my stuff, and then we're going to do the long, very sandy uphill slog to get out of here and get back to the car. It's very pretty down here, but I'm kind of limited as to the places I can go at this time of year. Normally you can hike up canyon, down canyon, and this is just not a good option right now. So we're gonna hike out of here. I'm still in my Crocs as I was too lazy to change out of my Crocs. So just walking carefully. This is not the best. They're not the best shoes for hiking. It is so wonderful having this place all to myself. Even though I had to brave some cold, and it was definitely worth it. Most people come here in the fall or the late spring when it's not so cold, but it's cool enough that you're not going to bake in the desert. You don't want to come in the middle of summer. But ain't nobody out here right now but me. One more river crossing. It's actually a little sunny on the river right now though, so it doesn't look as bad. Oh, here we go. Fluffy's all packed up. I'm all packed up. It's actually getting late. It's already almost 1 o'clock by the time I hiked to the Golden Cathedral and then came back out and got my crap packed up. So I am going to just make tracks to the top. I don't want to be out here after dark. Well, obviously I was out here after dark, but I don't want to be hiking after dark if I can help it. And at my hiking pace, especially if I'm doing any video, I won't get there before dark. So I'm going to make some tracks and we will see you guys at the top. Are you still snuggled in a sleeping bag? And don't have no interest in getting up and out of the Jeep yet? He's a lazy boy. Good morning. Fluffy has finally gotten out of the car. It was about 5 o'clock before I made it out of the canyon yesterday, which was a very long day. And it's a huge, long slog uphill through deep sand. And I just had got in the car, found a place to camp, and crashed. So did not have time for videoing along the way or a recap at the end. So it is what it is. This morning I managed to get a decent shower in my little shower tent back there. And it's gonna be a lazy day today because I have to organize all my crap. It's not organized. Every time I take a trip, I think I gotta get better organization system, and it doesn't happen because at the last minute I'm like, throw some stuff in my bins and go. So today we're gonna organize stuff and we're gonna do a little drive-in. We're gonna drive down to the end of this road, this Hole in the Rock road, and show you why it's called Hole in the Rock and see a couple interesting things along the way. But mostly this morning I'm gonna be organizing my crap, and it's pretty overcast again. You can kind of see the sun back there, but it's not a lovely day, and I think it's a good day for being lazy and organizing my stuff. So that's what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna hit the road and get down to the end of the road. Well, I managed to get all my stuff organized and get in the Jeep and drive way down this road to its namesake, the Hole in the Rock. The Hole in the Rock is not a natural structure or natural feature. It was blasted into that rock by early Mormon pioneers who were looking for a route to the Colorado River. They built 50 miles of road to get back here and then had this very large rock in the way and blasted a hole in it and took wagons down that. They lowered them down with ropes to the Colorado River, which is now Lake Powell. And it's a pretty monumental feat for the day, and definitely took some very hardy souls to do it. From what I understand, it was a pretty short-lived enterprise because easier ways to cross the Colorado River were found. But it's pretty impressive. You can actually climb all the way down the Hole in the Rock to Lake Powell, but Fluffy Dog does not like it, so we are not doing that. What we're gonna do is make our way back to our camp at the Egypt Road. I'm gonna show you a bit of this road because it's actually a pretty cool road and some things along the way. And then we're gonna get back to camp probably just as dark falls, because one of the big problems with camping in winter is daylight just does not last long enough. You don't get to do quite as many things because the sun goes down and it doesn't come up till late. So short days, short days. That's okay. Let's get back in the Jeep and head down this road. Hop in. Good boy. Good boy. Is that my good Fluffy? That's my good Fluffy. This is very much cattle country, so you do have to keep an eye out for cows that might be on the road. It's a very cool sandstone butte. But I think what's even cooler are those hoodoos kind of eroding out of the mountainside. The rocks behind me are called the Sooner Rocks, and we're about to go through the Sooner Wash. And we are losing daylight quickly. I wasn't sure we were going to get here before dark, but we have just made it, and the sky is very pink behind me. And we have made it to Dancehall Rock. Dancehall Rock is a historic site where the Mormons who were building this road in the 1880s kind of got stuck here during the winter. They couldn't make much forward progress, or very slow forward progress, and it would have been very difficult to get all the way back to town. And so they overwintered here, which they're pretty hardy for doing that. And they like to entertain, and they did so at this big rock behind me called Dancehall Rock. All right, let's go run up there real quick before we lose the light. It is like a giant amphitheater, and it would be a great place to put on shows and have dances. It's really cool. What do you think of Dancehall Rock? You gonna do some dancing? Some running and playing? Maybe, maybe not. Are you tired of all the running and playing? That's Dancehall Rock. We are headed back to our campsite. We still have like 20 miles to drive to get back to the campsite, and it's going to be well after dark when we get there. So I will leave you guys now until the morning, and we will explore more of this road and more of the cool things along it tomorrow. See you guys in the morning. Are you still sleepy? Are you still sleepy, boy? You not ready to wake up yet? Yeah. That's a good boy. Good morning. It was a pretty cold morning this morning, but we are ready to hit the road. We are gonna head down the road and start back up where we left off last night, just a little beyond Dancehall Rock. We'll see you at the end of the road. We've made it down the road and we are starting our journey today on my kind of road. We're gonna head down this little road here to see a big rock. That's what we're gonna see, a big rock. Well, the road was nothing to write home about. A little sandy here and there, but no big deal. That is a really cool rock. It's called Chimney Rock, and it's just this single sandstone spire all by itself out here in the desert. There's a bunch of chiseled graffiti at the base of the spire. Most of it's from the 20s and 30s, some of it in the 40s and 50s. But I did see one from the 80s, which in the 80s they should have known better. There's a climbing anchor up there, so I assume people come out and climb this thing. That would be pretty cool. All right, that was pretty cool. I've never actually driven out to see Chimney Rock, and I'm glad I did. It was actually a pretty neat little spot. We got a really nice camp spot right here too. So something to keep in mind. Now we're gonna hop back in the car and head down the road a little bit more to see something else that's kind of cool. We've come down this short little section of four-wheel drive road that isn't marked what it is. It's right across from the Dry Forks trailhead, and the Dry Fork canyons are really well known. Peekaboo, Spooky, and Brimstone canyons that we are not going to hike because they're not dog friendly. And we've done them before. Mary Beth and I did them a number of years ago. They're easy beginner slot canyons, and they were some of the first slot canyons that Mary Beth and I ever did. And they're pretty cool, but we're not doing them this trip. Peekaboo, most people know, has these really cool arch openings. Spooky is really skinny, and Brimstone is just a really tall, long slot canyon. I think it goes back like a mile or so. But we are not doing those today. We are checking out the Batty Caves. Check out what remains of this cool old car. Not much left of it. And it's been shot a few times. Hey, I bet we could get that engine block up and running again. I'm not sure why it's filled with rocks, or why Fluffy decided to go in there. Are there critters living in there, buddy? Come out of the old car. Good boy. All right, let's go walk over to the caves. These are not some kind of ancient caves lived in by the first peoples. These were carved in, I think, the 40s or 50s by some guys who were mining back here. And they're kind of cool. Fluffy's leading the way. You don't want to lead the way anymore? Wait, I'll wait for Mom and see where we're actually going. This would make actually a pretty cool camp spot right here. Pretty view. This is the first of the caves. And I'm assuming this thing in here has something to do with mining. This is a pretty cool old workbench. Old parts to things. I don't know. Don't know what those are. Weird. This one actually has a door. Let's go in there. Like a couple of beds. So living quarters, I presume. And they notched out some spots on the wall to put their stuff. A third cave, more substantial doors. Oh wow, big. This one's a lot bigger. Oops. There's a guest book to sign. We'll do that. Modern cave dwellers. A little thing that tells about it. I don't have my glasses. This might be a little bit challenging. Let's see. The people who lived here were Bill and Cliff Lichtenham. Rock cutting, polishing, and mosaic work using petrified wood, jasper, and other stone. They make tabletops, checkerboards, and other articles. They came from Colorado 10 years ago, prospecting for uranium. It doesn't say what years they lived here, but I think it was in the 40s or 50s. Pretty interesting. Oh. Katie and Fluffy Dog from Colorado. Old piece of machinery. Maybe a drill press. Oh, and there's critters. Fluffy is interested in the critters. Old workbench. More miscellaneous pieces of metal. And a really old shoe. They really had a pretty neat place out here, and the temperature inside is really comfortable. So I'm sure it's way more comfortable in the summertime as well. And they've got a pretty sweet view out their front door. Back in the Jeep and onward. Hop in. Good boy. 1, 2, 3. Good boy. A little more ways down the road, we have come to the Devil's Garden, which is just a little area of goblins and hoodoos. It's a neat little place to explore, and if I had brought my lunch, a nice place for a picnic, but I need to stop in Escalante and get some chow. So we're gonna walk around here just for a little bit before heading on. There's no actual real trails here. There are some social trails through the hoodoos, but I'm looking for this arch. There's an arch back here. It's not a big arch, but it's an arch. So we're gonna try to find it. There's the arch. That was pretty easy to find. And there's a little arch too. Pretty cool. Sadly, that's all the time we have for our whirlwind tour of Escalante, and we have barely scratched the surface. In fact, I've been to this area multiple times and and hardly seen even a fraction of what there is to see here. But I will be back. It's time to get in the car and start the long journey home. Thanks for coming along with us. We'll see you next time. Are you still watching? There's a little bit more. This is the extra cut. We are visiting someplace special. Taking a little hike. Gonna climb over that hill behind us. And gonna see something cool in the desert. We are hiking to the former site of the Utah Monolith. And there's a little surprise there right now. This is absolutely beautiful country. Just stunning. You don't have to come out here for the monolith. You can just come out here because it's beautiful. I'm sure you guys have heard of the monolith. It's been all over the news and new ones popping up all over the place. But this is the site of the first one, which was very quickly torn down by some boys who don't like other people to play with their toys. But we prepared something a little special there for y'all. By we, I mean me and Fluffy. That's the canyon right in front of us. We just climbed down this little sandstone fin here, and we're getting closer to the monolith site. As soon as I heard about the monolith a few weeks ago, I was making plans to figure out where the heck it was, and somebody figured it out, and unfortunately it is now gone. The site itself is actually really cool, even without the monolith. It's a short little hike back to a very pretty little canyon. Whew, it's a little breezy. I think we're getting some weather moving in. And I totally understand why the guys who destroyed the monolith did it. They don't want people coming out and kind of trashing their territory. Although it is public land, so it's everybody's territory. And the desert is a pretty fragile environment, and there are some rules and some etiquette for exploring the desert that are a little different than other places. You don't poop in the desert because it doesn't go away ever. You pack out your goods. You don't drive or walk on what's called cryptobiotic soil, which is a living soil that is made up of, I think, lichen and bacteria and fungi and such that helps keep the sand from blowing away and keeps moisture in the soil and helps establish plant communities. And it's very important not to disturb it. But instead of educating people on how to use the land properly, they just tore the monolith down. I get it. I live in Colorado, and our public lands are just swamped with people. It's crazy, and there's a number of them that are kind of trashing the place. So most of it is about people who just aren't educated about outdoor ethics. We have a lot of new people coming into the outdoors, and it's important to teach those people, not just destroy stuff because you don't want people coming to your place. The monolith and its clones have brought a lot of joy to a lot of people this year, and very much needed. And so even though this one's gone, this is still a really cool place. So I brought something special to the monolith site to hopefully bring a little joy to some people's lives. Close your eyes. Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you next time.